I am here to win titles. I'm here to win games, and as a result, to win titles. This is what I demand of myself. So why should we now say anything different, that we want to win in 5 years or in 2 years or in 3 years? I don't know what's then. Now is the time.
I didn't say that our target is top 4. The club never said me that the target is top 4. When I signed here and I joined this club, the target was in 2 years play Champions League, not in 1 year. So this is the reason why I said many times that we are ahead of our expectation. Nottingham Forest, they are doing fantastic, brilliant, very good. So congratulations to them. Then we see how we finish.
Welcome, guys, to our preview for Brighton versus Chelsea Premier League game. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at what Enzo Maresca said in the press conference, and do Chelsea actually need to change their system so that they can look to maintain their position in the top 4? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, when you look at the situation at the club, it is really getting from bad to worse. Chelsea are 4th. Yet everybody has written off the season. Everybody is very disappointed. And this is coming from what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference. Everybody is now turning towards the owners, as everybody feels like it can't be Potter, it can't be Poch, it can't be Maresca. Everything is now being turned to the owners. Now, Maresca had his press conference today, and automatically the first thing he started to talk about is the injury situation at the club. The injury situation at the club is very interesting, and now Chelsea receive a huge blow because Nicholas Jackson, a player who has been Chelsea's starting striker for the last 2 seasons, is said to be out till April, and Chelsea do not have a number 9. McGeough, who was the second striker, the bench option for Jackson, is out, and the board has put Chelsea in this position. The signings, the recruitment at the club have not been well, especially in the striker position. Looking at the amount of money that has been spent, Nicholas Jackson should have been the striker who comes from the bench. He should have been the second striker to a more experienced striker. But here we are. Jackson, a player who has misfired and is actually being the one who will be missed a lot at the club. Maresca also went ahead and said that Reece James is ready and is able to start. But he also went ahead and talked about one important position that we really need to talk about, as he has finally made a decision that Robert Sanchez is going to be Chelsea's second goalkeeper. And a lot of fans are asking a simple question. Everybody saw this. Everybody knew that Nick Sanchez was not supposed to be Chelsea's number 1. So how long did that take Enzo Maresca to notice? Why loan out Petrovic? Pochettino started with Sanchez. Pochettino realized Sanchez is not good enough. Pochettino benched Robert Sanchez. So Sanchez has cost Chelsea 5 goals, which has cost Chelsea close to 15 points this season. Maresca is now putting his hand up and is saying that he has talked to Robert Sanchez. But again, the elephant in the room is Chelsea's objectives this season, as Enzo Maresca could not finish just to tear down any form of hope that Chelsea fans have for the season by saying that Chelsea is not aiming for the top 4 this season. Chelsea are in the top 4. Nottingham Forest and Newcastle are Chelsea's competitors in the top 4. Manchester City is poor, and this is one of the opportunities that Chelsea have to finish above them. Only Arsenal and Liverpool are the better teams than Chelsea this season. But Enzo Maresca is bringing the defeatist mindset. Is this mindset going to affect Chelsea? Are Chelsea going to fall off? What is going to happen at Chelsea? I'm going to do a podcast to explain this, so just keep in mind. But now I want to talk about this game, and I'm going to talk about my predicted lineup, what I think Maresca should go with, and we automatically start. So Jorgensen looks to be the number 1 goalkeeper that has been selected by Chelsea, more likely to start in goal, something that should have happened 5 game weeks ago. 5 game weeks ago. Probably we would have saved ourselves a lot of points. But here we are. Dropped points that we shouldn't drop because of a manager who kept on insisting to put us in this situation. I've changed my system and I'm going with a back 3. Reece James right centre back, Tosin central centre back, Colby left centre back. We need to now come up with a structure that limits us from conceding goals. We do not have enough goals in the team. Therefore, we don't need to concede a lot of goals in the team. And we need to add an extra defender in the team and ensure that even if we have to play pragmatic, what we need are 3 points. What we need are 3 points. Moving on to the midfield, I'm going to go with a midfield for Gusto and Cucurella as wing backs. We know very well that our wingers are not performing quite well. They're not offering anything in attack. So we are going to go with Gusto and Cucurella as wing backs, Fernandez and Caicedo as that midfield. This, I believe, is good. When we don't have the ball, both Gusto and Cucurella drop into a back five while Caicedo and Fernandez play in the middle. And when we have the ball, they push forward and generate the width for the team. That is something I think Chelsea should look forward to. Then going on to the front three, we are going to have Pedro Neto starting and playing as a false 9 with Palma and Kunku playing alongside him. Kunku, we know he's not a number 9, but he has played in that left half space position. So it's really good if we position him there at his best position. We have no choice. We have no option. Sancho is out of form. I don't know about Noni Madueke. Palma is a right-sided inside forward, so I'll be happy to see him operating from those positions. And Neto just needs to be making runs so that he can stretch the team for Chelsea. And when you look at my overall lineup, it looks like this. This is a 3-4-3. And I'm going to explain to you why I prefer Maresca to actually shift into this kind of system. This is a system that has even helped Thomas Tuchel. It's a system that we have seen Conte win with. And this is the only system that I've seen Chelsea actually win matches with. So if there is any way that Chelsea need to win a match or win trophies, then it just has to be back to a 3-4-3. Be more pragmatic. Enough of this possession-based football. It clearly seems not to work. Let's be solid at the back and let's bring back that rigidity in defense. I am taking this inspiration from Tuchel. Tuchel, a manager who won all these things in 6 months. He did not need years to win these things. His mentality from the start was top-notch. But do we know how the 3-4-3 works? That is what I want us to talk about. So let's understand what the 3-4-3 works. The 3-4-3 formation is a balanced formation that gives numerical superiority both in attack and defense. This is generated by the wing backs joining the front line to create a front five during attack, while the two holding midfielders and the three center backs give the team balance in defense. In aggressive defensive situations, the wing back are tasked to drop in the back line to form a back five to cover the wide areas and allow the three center backs to cover the box. Now, we are going to look at the roles of each player under this formation. Now, the three center backs are so crucial because they begin the first phase of play. The three center backs always outnumber a front two-man front line by having numerical superiority. The wide center backs are tasked to give outlets for the libero or the central defender. This enables the team to shuffle the ball right and left to shift the opposition team from one side to the other, and this creates passing lanes in the midfield region. Now, the 3-4-3 formation is tasked with two midfielders, one box to box and the other a defensive sitter. Though both defensive midfielders are tasked to rotate the ball amongst themselves, this was common amongst Jorginho and Kovacic double pivot under Thomas Tuchel. This double pivot would rotate the ball and link up with the dropping in inside forwards to create numerical superiority in midfield. It needs two defensively aware double pivots with good understanding to know when to sit back in front of the defense to limit the opposition from making line-breaking passes to the attackers. We saw this with Jorginho and Kante at the Champions League finals, where they were able to position themselves in areas whereby they would limit ball progression down the middle. Now, let's move to the forward phase. The forward phase of the 3-4-3 consists of the two inside forwards and a striker. The inside forwards are two attacking midfielders, and these attacking midfielders occupy positions within the half spaces and link up with the base two double pivot to create overloads in midfield. These midfielders have a huge task in linking up with the striker and the midfielders to rotate the ball and create through balls
where they can attack the half spaces. They normally do not start wide, but rather they start in central positions to ensure they create gaps for the wide wing backs to occupy. Their half space runs ensures they receive the ball in key areas to shoot. Now, let's analyze the strengths of this formation, and the first strength is the attack. We look at how the team is lined up in attack. So the 3-4-3 formation has numerical superiority in the defensive area and is able to escape the first line of pressure as a result of the 5-against-2 numerical superiority generated by the 3 center backs and the well-coordinated 2 double pivots just in front of the center backs. Now, when the team is able to maneuver this first line of pressure, the 2 wing backs also provide an outlet when the 2 holding midfielders are man-marked. This is one big strength of this formation because the wing backs hold wide positions and play high up the pitch during the build-up formation, where they can link up with their inside forwards and enable the team to progress with the ball forward. Now, when the ball is forward towards the inside forward, the box shaped formed by the 2 holding midfielders and the 2 inside forwards dropping in midfield, as we saw between Jorginho, Kovacic, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount in Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, enabled the team to dominate possession in midfield, whereby if the 2 holding midfielders from the opponents cover the 2 defensive midfielders, the inside forwards are able to receive the ball in between the lines. This created a 2v1 situation against the opposition fullback. If he went for the inside forward, the wing back would be free in the wide areas. And we saw Reece James receiving the ball quite often under Tuchel in acres of space down the right hand side, and this enabled Reece James to exemplify himself as one of the best fullbacks in Europe, where he was able to take on his men and throw in and whip in crosses for his teammates, and this resulted in both wing backs averaging good assists. Now, let's look at the team in the defensive phase and identify the strengths this formation generates. The 3-4-3 formation is very effective in defensive situations, and that's why it is preferred by a lot of pragmatic managers. The 3-4-3 enables the team to press in an organized manner by limiting central progression and forcing the ball wide, where a wing-back may spring from his defensive position to cover the opposition fullback, while the entire back shifts to form a back 4, and this gives the team defensive solidity in the wide areas. Now, in times where the team has been pushed back, the wing backs normally drop deep and play alongside both the 3 center backs, forming a 5-man backline with the 2 holding midfielders playing as a shield in front of the defense. This ensures the team has 7 players defending, and these wide areas are covered by the 2 wing backs, and therefore they are able to pick up runners who are making runs in the wide areas. Now, with teams that commit 5 players or 6 players up front, the wing back tends to be isolated in a 2v1 situation, but this situation is catered for because of the extra man in defense. So when the winger stays wide and tries to link up with an underlapping fullback, the winger might draw the opposition wingback to himself, and this may create a chance for the opposition fullback to underlap. But because we have 3 center backs in the box who are able to win aerial duels against the fullback crossing, this ensures the team does not concede goals from crosses. Now, let's identify the weaknesses of this formation. This formation is not without its weakness, despite his heavy strengths in both the attacking and defensive situations. Now, one key weakness of the 3-4-3 formation is the spaces left in between the fullback and the wide center backs. This is because when the fullback and the wide center backs are pushing up to apply pressure, the opposition might position its wingers high and wide, and the spaces on either side of the wide center backs may be free for the opposition to pick. This requires that we have mobile wide center backs, as Tuchel employed Aspilicueta and Rudiger, to be able to come out and cover these positions. But in some instances, when the wide center back is slow to cover these situations, a gap may appear in between them, and this may create a goal scoring opportunity for the opponent, and this is one of the key weaknesses of this formation. Now, alternatively, this formation also has one great weakness that can be exploited and has been exploited in numerous times. They only have two holding midfielders on the pitch, and therefore a team that is operating in a midfield 3 will easily outnumber a 3-4-3 in midfield, and this might cause a lot of strain to the two double pivots because they will be left chasing shadows in midfield. But this seemed to have been mitigated by Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea, where during defensive situation he will drop Mason Mount from his front line to join the two double pivots to give them numerical superiority in midfield, and this is one of the key weaknesses of this formation. The 3-4-3 formation is a famous formation that was developed in the 1980s in Italy. It is one of the most renowned formations for its defensive and attacking stability. It is common amongst teams that want to dominate the ball and also employs positional play tactics. It is also a formation for pragmatic managers. Definitely, it is a formation that has led to managers winning a lot of trophies. We are yet to see more innovations of the 3-4-3 formation, and would like it to see how a lot of managers adopt this formation. I have to say that we are in a journey of 1,000 subscribers. I'd like you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share with your friends so that we can reach 1,000 subscribers. If you've stayed with us till the end of the video, thanks for watching.